Mr. Reggie. What's
Okay,
good,
I see you
everybody?
now.
You see me? All right.
Yeah, I got
What's
you.
good,
All right.
everybody? It's your boy, Mr. CDK Boxing. Let's talk boxing, man. Listen, this is a true honor, man, for me. Y'all know how I love boxing. And, man, I got a boxing legend with me right now, man. Listen, he's a 2024 inductee into the Hall of Fame, to the National Boxing Hall of Fame, also the California Boxing Hall of Fame. None other than, man, Mr. Reggie Johnson. How you doing, Mr. Reggie?
Hey, I'm doing great, man. Fine, man. I'm alive. I'm here, and so are you. We both doing great.
Yes, indeed, we are, man. It's a
Yeah.
blessing. Over the past few days, I've been able to talk to you on the phone and really get a feel for you and get to know you. And man, we've talked about so much on the phone. It makes it real easy for me to talk to you now. A lot of times you don't get to know the person you're talking to and you don't get a feel for them, man. So I really appreciate, what I'm saying, you give me the opportunity and this opportunity right here.
Well, we both blessed by the best, and we both have an interest in something that we both love, and that's boxing. And this is, think we wouldn't be talking if boxing would be the platform to put us here today.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Listen, man, you made it into the Boxing Hall of Fame, what I'm saying, this year. You retired in, I believe, what was your last fight? 2000 and, no, was it
Hey,
2008? No,
yeah,
2008?
yeah, 2008. Yeah, I fought in Lake Charles, Louisiana. I fought the late Julio Gonzalez, who's the champion, who was also light heavyweight champion at one time. And me and him fought for another belt, the world title belt, the newest, the IBA world title.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And I know that you know what I'm saying, in 2008, I know you wanted to go on, but I think you had to retire a little earlier than you wanted to.
Well, I didn't have to retire, but I just, uh, man, uh, my whole thing was to come back and try to set out to be the oldest uh, guy to win a world title. And after weighing in on it, and I just one day I woke up and just said, I've I've been blessed by the best. Three world titles, been all over the world, represented the USA on the USA boxing team, and I just decided to okay, just move forward. There's a lot of things that I can do in boxing that will I can keep my faculties and keep my health uh, uh, going.
Definitely, definitely. That's a blessing. A lot of people don't walk away from the sport in time. You see a lot of boxers, man, and that's one thing about boxing, the headshots and all that. And it pains me when I hear people slurring over their speech, man. It seems like that you really got your health. I know one thing you told me about you've never taken a drink or anything in your life. So that lets me know, what I'm saying, you've always taken the sport really serious.
Yeah,
Can you?
I remember telling you that, and I tell everybody that, but I always forget I was drunk one time that Roy Jones 1-2 punch. Yeah,
Man, speaking of
yeah,
Roy Jones,
That Roy Jones 1-2 punch. Yeah,
man,
but
go ahead. I'm sorry.
no, I was going to say, but that's a positive drunkenness because I got paid for that.
Man. Hey, and Roy Jones, you told me, like I said on the phone, that you believe Roy Jones was definitely the best of your era, and you had the opportunity to get in the ring with Roy Jones, Antonio Tarver, James Tony. You fought also three legends in their own right of the sport, and Roy Jones, we know the speed, but what did he have great power as well?
Well, speed generates power, and yes, Roy had he had great speed and great power. Yes, he was the best of our era. Uh, you know, Roy wasn't a guy that could he didn't hit a lot of guys with one punch and knock them out like what I did with William Guthrie. But man, when you accumulate a lot of punches together with that type of speed, it generates power, and they fall down too, bro. They out too.
Definitely, definitely. When they talk about athletes, We know Roy Jones, he played basketball and stuff like that. Do you think that his athletic ability is what helped him in the ring?
Well, I think just him being a athletic guy, uh, the thing what he did with basketball, he liked playing basketball, of course, boxing. Uh, Outside those two, I don't know what else he did, but just hey man, just watching that man hit the bag, watching him work out. He and I when he was before he came up and won a world title. I was in Pensacola. I did a pro fight there. It's kind of like during the time him and his dad kind of like had some problems with each other, but hey man, I saw the greatness in him then. I think we sparred 3 times, and I think Roy went to his dad and said, "No, that's it. I'm not going to spar Reggie no more because at the end of the day, we're going to end up fighting each other, and I don't want to spar him." And we didn't spar, and he was right. We ended up fighting each other.
Man, yeah. So he already knew, but that just tells me that he seen the talent in you. You know,
Absolutely. But yeah, keep in mind also, I had already been world champion before. You see what I'm saying? And he was, I really saw the talent in him. Just turning pro. I know he's on a U.S. team too. I think he was. I was on the U.S. team, and just knowing that he took that same route I took, I knew he was on the way, man. He was going to be a force to be reckoned with, and he was. He was the best fighter of our era for a while.
yes, definitely. He was Roy Jones won a silver medal in the Olympics, I believe, and a lot of people say it's one of the biggest robbers. As far as on the Olympic level, because he definitely won that gold medal match. And everybody feels like he got robbed in that match.
Oh, absolutely. Did you see when at the end of that fight, the look on his face, and the referee raised his hand, and then think about it when the guy uh, the guy was a real man because when he stepped on that top thing with the gold medal, he brought Roy up there with him, and he was just saying, "This is the real gold medal guy right here." And I
Man,
mean, why wouldn't they go change that? And everybody's seen that it's crazy, man. But not only in the amateurs, it happens in the pros, and man, it's politics and politics and everything we do, sir.
man, definitely.
Yes.
And the politics of boxing has caused a lot of people a lot of heartache and pain. And I don't know. You know a lot about when you look at the judges. You got 3 judges, and I had a friend say, "Well, when the judges are judging the fight, they can't see everything going on. They're looking at it from one side of the ring, so they miss a lot of action." Do you think that plays a part in the judging of fights where the judges are actually sitting at?
Well, you heard what you just said. What you just said was the judges can't see everything, and guess what? The fighters who's fighting can't see everything, but we got enough sense to put stuff together. If a judge is working for Bob Arum, and everybody saw that fight too with me and James Toney. I dropped him. I outsmarted him. I fought on my terms, and I won that fight. And then when you go back and look at that fight, and then you see the judge who had me losing when I knocked James Toney down, that's the same judge was pissed and hit both her hands on the table that she was sitting at the judge table,
Mm,
and she was pissed. And you got go look at that fight, and on the second round when I knock him down, look at that judge, and see how she reacted. She was pissed that I knocked James Toney down, and she hit both her hands on the table.
man. And it's crazy because I was going to bring up the James Tony fight. And what I did, I went and watched that fight. I watched it 2 times now. And like I told you on the phone, I had you winning that fight 7-5. And I feel like, they say that, how they say you got to beat the champion in order to, what I'm saying, to take the belt from the champion, you got to really beat the champion. But to me, I felt like you won that fight. And, like you said, the politics of boxing, Bob Arum, and we know what Bob Arum means to the sport of boxing. He's been around a long time. So do you think that played a big role in the decision of that fight, Bob Arum?
Absolutely, James Toney was signed with Bob Arum. I wasn't signed with Bob Arum, and yeah, of course. Uh, Hey man, let me go back. Even I'm gonna tell you something. Even before the Roy Jones fight, I mean before the James Tony fight, Michael Sucker to none was supposed to been fight me when he fought James Tony. They got another political buy to go in and fight him. I was the number one contender by two of the sanctioning bodies, and number two by the third one. But Michael Nunn was supposed to been fighting me, but they got another political buy. And he fought James Tony and was beating James Tony. James Tony came back and knocked him out. Don't you know that James Tony fought me 6 weeks after he won the world title?
No, I didn't know. I didn't know that. I knew. I didn't know how long it was before you and James Tony fought. So you really
Yeah, but
do.
I was number one by two of the sanctioning bodies and number two by the other one. So yeah, that's how that was laid out. And me and Tony fought on ABC, and the history is will forever be there. And uh, the judges, the promoters, and the boxing fans, at the end of the day, they know who really won that fight. I know who really won that fight, and this is the politics that come with boxing, and you moved on, and hey man, I fell to the floor. It brought tears to my eyes, but it came a time that I knew I had to. Okay, let's go back and get back, and let's go and get back to work. And I came back and won the world title and won two other world titles, three world titles. So
Definitely. And the first title you won was, I think it was the WBA, if I'm correct.
yes, against Irish Steve Collins. Yeah, he and I fought in 1992.
Definitely. And you had the opportunity to really to be a four-time world champion also, but you got, it seemed like the politics of boxing once again played a, major role in the decision of a fight when you went over to Argentina and fought.
Well, yeah, I went and fought Castro over there twice. You remember John David Jackson? I fought
Yeah,
him in Argentina, so I fought over there three times in Argentina, and
three
that's why I lost my world title in Argentina. And once again, politics and politics. They it was a fight that I won, and they gave it split decision to John David Jackson, but he wouldn't go over there and fight Castro. So they ended up stripping
yeah.
him, and I ended up going over there twice, two more
Wow.
times.
And man, and you also, like I said, you had the opportunity to fight Antonio Tarver, what I'm saying, which is another legend from your era. And that fight right there,
Absolutely.
what do you feel like went wrong in that fight with you and Tarver?
Well, I know what went wrong. I mean, that was a good fight. Tarver was a great fighter. Can't take nothing away from him. But I didn't speak of that then, but I speak it now. In the third round, Tarver hit me with his gloves kind of open and bust my eardrum. And did you see? I changed my style of fighting. I wasn't able to uh, win that fight or fight that fight with my legs. I was because I learned something. I was educated. I didn't know that your eardrums was tied to your equilibrium and and your balance and all
Yeah,
that stuff. But once
yeah,
again, even with that took place with the busted eardrum, you know, it, I still lost that was a split division loss. And some people say they thought I won, but I mean, hey man, I'm blessed by the best just to be able to go 12 rounds with a talented guy like Antonio Tarver, and still can have my faculties because man, I had no balance, man, and being educated, uh, that your eardrums is tied in with your equilibrium and all that stuff. It was. I didn't win the fight, but it was a win. I was educated that that particular fight.
definitely. And like I said, with your equilibrium, once it's gone, man, it's hard to recover from that. You know what I'm saying? In 12 rounds to recover from something like that, you really you're not gonna be able to do it. And even with James Tony, had you had the opportunity to ever speak with James about y'all fight?
Oh man, every time I see James Tony, me and him talking, and then people always come around. We always give him a show. James, hey man, let me tell you something. James Tony is a man. Come on, man. This man go all the way up to heavyweight, beat Holyfield. It was the other big heavyweight guy he fought. I think he had a draw with him, the great heavyweight champion. Uh, and to see him fight Holyfield and them heavyweights and move up in weight and win cruiserweight world title, heavyweight world title. He was a great fighter. Me and him fought at 160 pounds. Really, that's amazing when you think about it.
Definitely, that's definitely true, man. To see James Tony, start where he started it to go all the way up to heavyweight, and even Roy Jones, him going up to heavyweight, man. That's very rare, especially in these days, because taking a look at boxing now, the sport is not what it was when you was there as far as popularity. At one time, you got football. 1 second, y'all. I don't know what happened. He jumped out. Let me get him back up here on stage. Something went wrong. Give me 1 second. Should be able to come back in, but give me 1 second. Let's see what's going on here, y'all. One of the mornings, man. But y'all can see I'm talking with Hall of Famer, man, Mr. Reggie Johnson, and you're listening to man him tell stories of life about boxing, and man, there's so much to get into. So I'm hoping I can get him back up here real soon, and we can get this thing back going because I got so many questions I want to ask him, especially about he had the opportunity to know Muhammad Ali. To me, Muhammad Ali is the greatest of all time, and I just want to really dive into that and conversations with him. He's also was a teammate of Mike Tyson's on the I think Olympic team. So there's a lot of stuff that I want to talk to him about. But let me see if I can get him back on stage. Okay, here we go. Here we go.
Okay, okay, I'm back.
Okay. I'm sorry. I don't know what happened, y'all. I'm sorry for that. But what I'm saying, we were talking about James Tony and you to having the opportunity to talk to him and him going up and waiting. Let me ask you because this has been a big debate with like a lot of people that I know that love boxing. It's always been about, you saying that Roy Jones was the best of your era and, his loss to Tony Otara. Now, people have looked at it different ways. Like a lot of my friends or people I talk to about boxing, they say they believe him going up in weight and coming back down is the reason for that loss. They feel like that, or some people say that he lost his athletic ability. He wasn't the same. In your point of view and being who you are and knowing boxing, you can't say what went through Roy's mind, but what do you think happened in that fight?
So you're talking about the fight with him moving up in weight, or the fight with him and Tarver?
Him and Tarver, him coming back down. A lot of people said that him going up in weight and coming back down hurt him.
Well, I mean, even if that was the case, even if it wasn't the case, he made a decision to fight Tarver. Tarver made a decision to fight him. Him moving up, winning the heavyweight world title, then going back down. That's a decision he made. I mean, I don't really understand why a lot of people uh, invest in that. But that was a decision that was history made, and that's a decision that he made. My whole thing is, even with going up with the weight, coming back down, that's a decision that you made, and man, you're a great fighter, one of the greatest of all time, the greatest in your era. And I mean, why waste time talking about why you lost and with this up and down? But let's talk about you going up, being a standout fighter, going all the way up to heavyweight, winning that title. You
Definitely,
understand what I'm saying? I don't. I mean, and bro, if that was the case, he still won a world title at heavyweight. I mean, ain't too
definitely.
many fighters did that. Went from middleweight all the way up to heavyweight and won a world title in the different weight classes.
Right. And I think, what I found out about, like you say something about a fighter that people love, man, they'll crucify you these days. You know what I'm saying? Far as, man, you can't say anything. It's just like the recent situation I was telling you about with Ryan Garcia. He has a big following. And, when I was telling them, I had broke down, the A sample and B sample and trying to break down how it works, man. People get mad at you. And with Roy Jones, he has a lot of fans, and I love Roy the fighter. I love Talbot Antonio the fighter. And I think sometimes people try to find ways to, rationalize their favorite fighter, taking a loss. So that's the conclusion I've come to when it comes to that, and why people even go through those motions. Because I get asked that question all the time. People ask me, well, what do you think? Why do you think Roy lost? I tell them all the time, I can't say why Roy lost. I think on that night, Tarver was the better fighter. That's how I like to give people their full credit.
Well. Next time somebody asks you something like that about a fighter, why did he lose? Just simply tell them, well, because he's a human being just like me and you, bro.
Right, right,
He's
man.
a human
Yeah,
being just like me and you. He's
yeah,
a man just like me and you. Uh, you know, the greatest of all time. How many fights he lost, but he
man.
still is known as the greatest of all time, Muhammad Ali. I mean that comes with winning, losing, and losing come with winning.
Definitely, definitely. And you know what hurts? I think really hurt boxing today, and it's not his fault. A lot of these young fighters, they look up to Floyd Mayweather, and they have put a real emphasis on their O, not losing that O. And it's hurting the sport of boxing because a lot of times we don't get the fights we want anymore. When you came through, the best fought the best. Now it takes forever, and you got to go through all the motion. And he's on this side of the street, he's on this side of the street. And when you can speak on it better than anybody, uh, do you think that's hurting boxing?
Well, uh, I think boxing goes up and down. Uh, I don't think it'll never be able to hurt boxing to the point to where it's like shut it down. It'll never be shut down. And like it's like life, man. You got to deal with the good and the bad. Eh, Think about it. It's just like life. Boxing has been my life. It's life, and it's like life to me. You're gonna have the ups and downs in life. And from a business perspective and where we're at in boxing, think about it. It goes up and down. It's getting better. Like an old guy told me one time. He said, "Man, us as being men of color, man, we've come a long way. But goddamn,
Mm,
we got a long way to go."
definitely, definitely. Man, we got a long way to go. It seems like
Absolutely.
sometimes it seems like we're going backwards at times.
Well,
And I hate to.
we're talking from a boxing perspective. It's the same thing. We got a long way to go, and like I tell everybody, when we having this type of conversation about the ultimate sport of boxing, until fighters come together, and I know it's a little harder because boxing is a real world sport. When you win the NBA championship, when you win the baseball championship, the basketball, uh, you're not you're not you're not world. That's not a you're not world champions. You might have somebody from a different country playing it, but you're not world champion. Boxing is a real world sport, like the
Yeah,
MMA and boxing. Those are real world sports. We fight, and people all over the world. Now you might have somebody from a different country coming to America to play in the NBA or the NFL, but think about that, man. Boxing is a real world sport.
It definitely is. It definitely is. And you speak on the greatest. Also, Muhammad Ali to me is the greatest of all time. And I look at it from what he's done in the ring and outside the ring. I put all it together, and that's what I judge my greatest ever off for me. You know what I'm saying, personally. And you had the opportunity to meet Ali. And what type of person was he outside of the ring?
Oh man, Ali was a oh man. Like we said, he's the greatest of all time. He was one of the greatest people to have a relationship with of all time. Uh, Ali, like like I said, that's my hero. I just heard you say that was your hero, and
Yes.
it's not what Ali did when that bell rung was great, but what he did without the bell ringing with the communities, with the people, with the world was greater greater than great. It was real. It was human greatness.
Ali, man. And I seen you send me the picture of y'all two together. You, Mike Tyson, you and Mike Tyson, y'all, you know him very well. Also, I think y'all was y'all on the Olympic team together?
Yeah, we was on the USA team. Me and him lost to the two guys who went on to win the gold medal from the from USA. But we was on the USA boxing team together. Even when I turned, well, we were both the same age. When we both was 16, we was fighting in the nationals and ended up fighting in the Olympic trials at the same time.
Okay. And when you were watching Mike back then, could you see greatness like when you was watching him as a young man?
Oh man, I absolutely saw the greatness, but I also seen uh, the lifestyle of Mike, and I watch him change. Before fights, Tyson would always have breakdowns, crying, and what's his name, Teddy Atlas, talk to him, pat him on his shoulder, hug him. Come on, man, we got to go in here and fight. Tyson go in there and knock somebody out, and then when he win those fights, he'll start jumping up and down, and he's got that smile on his face. To watch that man be crying, having a breakdown, and when he get in there, take care of business. He had this, jumping around. He's smiling, and that's. I mean, people say, "Well, just tell me something. Just tell me something about Mike Tyson." That's the story I always tell. I always remember that, and even back then, many of us knew, and even Tyson knew that he would be a standout fighter, a world champion.
Right, definitely. Now, looking back on your career, you've done a lot. Is there anybody that you wish you had the opportunity that came through in your era that you didn't get to face in the ring?
Oh, that's a lot of. Uh, I was just having this conversation with somebody not too long ago. Same thing, man. Who are some of the fighters you uh, was supposed to fight or should have fought that was in your weight class? Uh, I remember me and Bernard Hopkins was getting ready to fight, and that's that time I think he was cutting the grass and he cut his foot off of real bad. So that fight didn't happen with him. So it was, yeah. I think Bernard Hopkins, man, was one of the greatest of all time himself. That was a fight that didn't happen with that should have happened.
And it's crazy. It's kind of because Bernard stayed around so long. Sometimes I kind of and people kind of forget that he came through in that era, but Bernard was there.
Oh, he's a great he was a great fighter, man. And if you think about it, man, he from Philadelphia, man, that guy, man, he was the real deal, man. And like
Definitely, definitely.
Holyfield, he was the real deal too. Yeah, Bernard
Yes,
Hopkins,
man,
man.
definitely. Holyfield, man, is one of my favorite heavyweights. and you know you have the two eras of Mike Tyson. Always knew Mike Tyson and Holyfield was going to face each other, man. And I'm glad to see those two guys. You know what I'm saying? Like they're friends now. Uh, do you think the Mike Tyson before prison was a better fighter than the one that came after? Do you think that the prison sentence? Do you think it hurt Mike Tyson's career in the ring?
Well, I mean, maybe it did, and but I really, let me tell you something. When Mike Tyson and Evander Holyfield fought, remember I was at a friend's house. We had like about 40 plus people there at the fight night watching that fight. Don't you know I was the only guy at that house that night over the 40 plus people that was going with Evander Holyfield? And you know why I went with Evander Holyfield?
Mm.
Because I saw Holyfield and Tyson spar at the Olympic Training Center in Colorado Springs when me and Tyson was 16. I think Holy had to be about 20, 21 then. But everybody, the whole gym stopped training, man. What was the head coach? Oh, Pat Nappy was the head coach. And I remember he was like, who I'm gonna get this spar with Tyson? Holyfield raised his hands up. I'll spar with him. Keep in mind, Holyfield fought 178 in the amateurs. Tyson was
Okay.
200. And then the whole gym kind of like we quit hitting the bag, quit training because we couldn't. A lot of people now. I'm not saying that Holyfield was just crushing Tyson, but to see him, it kind of like remind you of the fight they had. What Holyfield did because he really crushed Tyson then because he stopped him, but just imagine that, man. If I was a gambler, man, I could have sent everybody who was at that fight that night home broke.
Yeah, and you know what? It's crazy that I bet on a friend of mine. We was watching that fight together, it was about 10 of us. And I took Holyfield to go past 7 rounds, to be honest. You know what I'm saying? So I still won. But I had, you know what I'm
Well,
saying, I had Tyson winning, but I kept saying that I didn't see. I kept telling him, I said, Holyfield got a chin, man. I don't know if Tyson's gonna be able to stop him. My friend was like, man, he gonna stop him within 4 or 5 rounds. And I remember us betting $100. And he said, okay. I said, well, I'll give you 7 rounds. It's going past 7.
well,
That's what
hey,
got.
I'm gonna say this and this when I had this conversation about the Holyfield Tyson fight. I tell this to everybody. It's two things in life, especially when you've lived a boxing life or no boxing or a lover of boxing. You should never forget, especially if you're a fighter. There's two things you'll never forget, bro. Guess what that is, brother?
What is it?
You'll never forget who ass you whooped, and you'll never forget who whooped your ass.
Man, yeah, that makes sense. That definitely makes sense.
Yeah,
And
that'll forever be in your body, be in your head, and be in your heart. You know who ass you whooped, and you definitely ain't gonna know who whooped your ass.
let me ask you this. Was Vada around when you was boxing?
Excuse me, say that again.
Vada. You know Vada, the one Vada. You know, are you familiar with VADA, the drug testing or whatever, and all that? This, the PEDs and all that. I know you're familiar with, what goes on, and like from your era, I'm sure there was guys that was taking PEDs back then. But VADA is like they have a lot to do with what's going on now with the drug testing agency. I believe they come out. They're the type like people sign up for VADAs these days, and what they do is if you sign up for them and both fighters sign up, they can come out. They have to know your whereabouts. They have to know how you move everywhere you are on the hour because they can pull up in a restaurant, take you in the bathroom, and draw your blood. They test you anywhere.
I never experienced that, but I do understand and know when I never had a problem with taking a drug test. Uh, uh, I remember when me and Roy Jones fought. That's the first time those people never. They after the fight was over, they never came in my dressing room and have me pissed in the cup.
Wow. So you saying after the Roy Jones fight, they didn't drug test you?
No, they didn't.
And was
And
that
that, that
was that strange?
of course it was strange because you know, every time you fighting on that level, fighting a world title fights, yeah, you got to take that test. That was the first time uh, they didn't come in my room and have me piss in the cup.
Mm.
And
And
I
back,
never, like I told you, I never had a problem with doing that, man. I don't, like I told you, I never had a beer before in my life.
right.
I've never had anything foreign in my body. I've never had a beer before in my life. When I think about it in retrospect, to keep it real, I think I got drunk one time, and it was from a Roy Jones 1-2 punch that knocked me down. And I can proudly say it was okay because I got paid for it.
Yeah, yeah, definitely, definitely.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
so do you think during your era, like the PEDs was a thing that was heavy back then? Like, could you tell, was there talk behind the scenes on fighters that people believe was using?
Well, like what I was really trying to say to you, and I got a little bit off track, was, you know, when you don't drink, when you don't smoke, when you don't snort cocaine and do all the stuff that these people do. I've never done that, and I mean, I know about it, but you know, I don't have I never had a problem pissing in the cup or whatever they wanted me to do. If they wanted to take my blood, well, I did have a problem with that because I don't like needles. But if they had
Right.
to do it, you know, it was done, and I kind of remember you right. It came a time where they started being real strict with that, start testing people or pissing. But come on, man. Uh, I won't speak no names, but I know there's been people that are fault, and there's been a lot of people that we've seen, you and I and everybody in the world have seen fight that was, you know, come on, man. They was on the steroids, and I mean, I don't really know about that stuff, but they was doing a lot of stuff to try to have them have the ability to win a fight. And this is something crazy. I don't even the people who had that, if they're on steroids. The one thing I understand, I don't care if you can be stronger, you can be faster, you can even be bigger than a person, and that person still can whoop your ass.
That's definitely true. That's definitely true.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You could be on your steroids, because if you can't if you can't touch him with that jab, if you can't set him up to hit him or out hit him or outspeed him or outsmart him, you still gonna lose.
That's
And I don't
definitely
care how much steroids you on, you still can get your ass whooped. That's why, hey, that's why there's no sport like boxing is the ultimate sport, man. It started with bare knuckles. It's the first sport, bare knuckle
Def-
fight.
and where do you stand as far as on discipline, when it comes to a ban, should a person be banned from boxing if they're using PEDs? Should they be given another opportunity? How do you feel if they're caught, like the actions that you think should be taken?
Well, uh, I think as far as dealing with that, uh, of course you got to send a message for people not to do that. So yeah, I understand them banning fighters, uh, and I think that one of the things that would really help, if I think if a person get caught doing that one time, you can ban them for a while. But if they come back, maybe the second time, yeah, man, they should start saying, "Hey, man, you can never fight again. Not
Definitely.
you can't do no pro boxing, you can't do no pro MMA, never again.
Mhm.
You can't get a license nowhere on planet Earth."
I agree with you. I think everybody deserves a second chance in life. But if you do it twice, you know what I'm saying? If you cheat twice, thank you, television. I think you should be banned from boxing. And I was telling you because I think you weren't keeping up with it about the situation with Ryan Garcia and Devin Haney, and I see now where Devin Haney is asking for the win that Ryan Garcia received to be no, because most time they make it a no contest. But what he's
Right.
asking
That's
for is to be awarded the win.
so he want them to take that loss off his record, right?
Okay, yes. And most of the time, if you're caught, the way they've been doing, if you get caught, the person gets caught cheating and you lost the fight, they make it a no contest. But he's asking for it to be a win on his behalf. How do you feel about that?
Well, I don't think they should. Man, that's something to think about. I got to really think about that. But I mean, I don't think they should make it a win on this thing. But maybe they can just take that fight off his record. But I,
Definitely.
I
I
don't I
agree with
don't think
that.
they should make it a win.
I agree with that. I don't think it should be a win, but I do think it should be a no contest if
There
it
you
comes
go.
back.
Yeah.
Yeah, no contest, definitely. And I was trying to explain to people because you know this better than I do. You took drug tests. The A sample and the B sample is the same blood or urine. Don't nothing change. Am I right? It's the same thing. It's the same. Like when you pee in a cup and they send it off to the lab. They're not retesting you. It's gonna be the same urine or blood sample, right?
Right.
So more than likely, the B sample, which they're waiting till the 22nd for Ryan Garcia's B sample to come back. More than likely, the B sample is gonna come back the same as A. More, would you say so?
So let me ask you something. That's the first time I ever heard of that. Anyway, why are they doing that? So really, what they doing? They find it. They doing some crooked shit, bro. They trying to find a way to get him to pass that thing by. Because if you test positive, bro, okay, we testing you right now. Why I gotta send it somewhere else? We already know that you was on something.
Man, and listen to this. And this is the thing. I'm glad you're saying that. And this is what I'm not understanding because I heard Zap Judah say it. It's never taking that long for a B sample to be tested, all the way to the 22nd. That doesn't make sense to me. And you're
What
saying the
what
same thing.
it lets you know, man. There's they trying to overcome the wrong that they've done and what you call have done. And that young man is, think about it, man. The dude could fight. He's talented. I know what you call he had a loss, but he came back and beat stop what you call, and now they find out he's on what's going now he's going through all this. Man, a lot of this stuff is ludicrous and crazy, and for people to have a mindset like that, man, it's crazy, man. Just think about all this stuff going on. This is it's ludicrous, bro. It's ludicrous.
It
That
is.
dude know he was on something. Look how crazy he was acting, and I'm not saying he's acting crazy because he's on that. Well, maybe he was acting the way he act like that because he's acting even wilder, more crazy. I mean, I know he's like do crazy stuff, but he took the crazy stuff to a whole new level. You know, because I guess. But think about it. So if he was on juice that fight, they found out that mean he's probably been using it.
Mm. And that's a strong possibility, and that's what a lot of fans or people that's casual fans of boxing don't really know. And what I'm starting to see is like if you go to like a lot of people that's in the YouTube community, they kind of more it seems to me they know more about boxing than the Instagram community. When I look at the Instagram community, a lot of those people that follow Ryan Garcia are more or less fans of him because they look at him as an Instagram model or it has nothing to do with boxing. You see, so when you make a statement about boxing to them, they, saying they think that father's cheating. Ryan Garcia is the first person that, saying this has happened to. And, it's just a big old mess. And I realize now that because of popularity, they're handling this whole situation a lot different than they handle most situations because of who Ryan Garcia is.
Yeah, yeah, I understand what you're saying, and man, man, it's like I compare that to like things that goes on in life, and that's one of the things that goes on in life. Uh, think about, man, if everybody judged people not by the color of their skin but their character, think about where we'll be at in this day and time in the world.
Right.
You see, with all the dealing with the racism, you're not allowed to buy homes here, do this. Think about it, man. You judge people by their character, who they really are, man. They soul. You look at a person and talk about, oh no, he too dark skinned. He's a black man. You can't live here. You can't live in this community. That's crazy, man.
Definitely. And salute to my guy, man, BVO Boxing, man. That's my brother right there. A great brother. You know what I'm saying? One of the guys I was telling you about the yeah, you can come through, BVO. You mind if BVO come through? This is my brother. I think he wanna ask you some questions. If that's okay with you.
Oh, no problem. No problem, man.
Okay.
No problem.
BBO, you know more about this stuff. I'm old. You know how more about me sending invites. So let me see. I'm gonna try to do it right quick, BBO, and hope I can do it the right way.
Wait a minute. You
Uh,
say you're old, man. How old are you?
well, I call myself old. I ain't number 50.
Oh, man, I'm 57. I'm old. You on your way to being old. You ain't
I'm
old
on,
yet.
yeah, I'm on my way to being old. Definitely on
Yeah.
my way. Okay. Send the link to my phone through the text. Okay, 1 second. Let me see. I'll see it, BBO. I'm gonna send it to you now. I don't want it to kick me out, but let me get the link right quick, BBO.
Okay.
Let me get this link. Let me copy it. And I'm not gonna kick off. I'm gonna go over here and invite him. So let me see. It's not gonna kick me out, BB. I don't think it will. Can you still hear me, Reggie?
Oh yeah, I can hear you. I'm just my son trying to call me on this phone. I'm just letting him know I'm doing a podcast. Yeah. So, hey, do you have kids? Hello. Hello.
Can you hear me?
Okay, I can hear you now. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, okay. All right. Yes, I got my youngest son is 5 and my oldest is 28.
Oh, okay. Hold on 1 second.
All
Jerry,
right.
give me about 10 minutes. I'm doing a podcast. Okay. You hear me?
I sent it to you, BBO too. Let me know if you got it.
Uh,
All right. Yeah. And we like we said, we were speaking on, the situation with PDs and Ryan Garcia and everything. And at the end of the day, like I said, you know, you're people say you're innocent until proven guilty, but how it kind of works in boxing, I told him when it comes to failing a drug test, it's kind of different because now you're kind of guilty, but you're trying to prove your innocence. It
right,
seems to
right,
me.
right, right.
Did you get
Well,
the?
well,
Go ahead.
so what you're saying is you're guilty until proven innocent.
Yeah, yeah. That's how it works. That's how it works.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
BBO, you there?
Yeah, I'm here. What's
How
going
you
on,
doing?
Steve? How you doing, man?
Hey, I'm doing fine, brother. How you doing, man?
Hey, I'm a big fan of yours, man. It's good to see you in good health, man.
Oh man, how old are you, man, to be a fan of me, man? I ain't fought in almost 20 years.
Uh,
I'm a
he's
I'm a
a
historian. I'm a historian, so I
yes,
always
he is.
brothers that
Oh,
that do
oh, okay.
teach
You're a
sport.
historian. Okay, I got you. Yeah.
So I just wanted to ask you this, man. I know you spoke about because one thing that people forget, even 20 years ago, some of the bigotry that you dealt with. Do you think that still exists in boxing, where you don't see a lot of men that look like us not get to the top because of their skin color still?
Well, I don't think they can stop us from getting there, but I think it's a lot harder for us to get there because they don't want us there. And man, at the end of the day, when you really think about it, other men that has different skin colors, they wouldn't even be here if it wasn't for our skin color. And even I hate to bring this in here, but it's reality, man. And I got some in my family that are some gay people, but God said Adam and Eve, not Adam and Steve. So I go back to what we're talking about, man. You don't just like you don't judge a person by their color. You don't. I mean, who are you to say, well, you can't do this because you this color or you that color? I think, hey man, we all related, bro. We all part of the human race, and back to boxing. The guy, if a guy go in there and put in that work, go in there, he know he got his life on the line. He know he got to put in the work, and he go in there and do it, and go in there, man. I'm just, hey man, the best man gonna win, and even the guy who lose, hey man, you can always come back and redeem that and and still win.
Definitely, definitely.
How many undefeated fighters, even the greatest of all time, my hero, Muhammad Ali, he lost. Sugar Ray Leonard, he lost. Sugar Ray Robinson, he lost. Jake LaMotta, he lost. Let me ask you something. Who was the only fighter that didn't lose?
Uh,
World champion. World champion that did not lose a fight.
only ones I can think of was Rocky Marciano and of course
There
Floyd
you
Mayweather.
go.
Yeah,
Okay, okay. Yeah, well, I mentioned Floyd, but you're right. That's what I'm talking about. Rocky Marciano, man.
yeah.
Yeah.
But I think in Rocky's case, it was due to him being in an era where there wasn't a lot of great heavyweight. I think he was 185 pounds, something like that. So
Yeah, yeah.
I,
He was almost a light heavyweight and almost a cruiserweight, being the heavyweight champion. You're
yeah,
right.
yeah. Like when I
Yeah.
think about I think about a guy like you, man. Fighting that light heavyweight. It. I think sometimes we take it for granted because we don't realize how much you guys put into it. So I ask you this: what would you say was your toughest fight? The fight that took the most out of you? What do you think that fight was?
Uh, the fight that took the most out of me, man. Let me ask you a question. Who was the greatest fighter of our era? That would be Roy Jones, right?
BBL.
Say it one more time.
I
He
said,
said,
who was the greatest fighter of our era? Roy Jones, right?
I, I see. I'm a little different. I would say the greatest fighter of our time is two people to me. People won't agree with this, but I think it was Pernell Whitaker and Oscar De La Hoya. I think I think them, and then I would say Duran. Those are the three best. I think of
no,
this
he
era.
said he said of his era coming through, he believes that Roy
Oh,
Jones
of
was
your
the
era.
best.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Of your era, I would say James Tony. See, I hold James Tony a little higher than I do Roy Jones. That's just me. Even though he lost to him directly, I think
Right,
that
right,
James
right.
Tony. Yeah, James Tony was special. He just was addicted to food, man. That was his only
Yeah,
problem, man.
I
And
definitely
I mean,
think.
I can understand you saying that too, and I didn't really look at it. I thought about it, but that just hit me when you said that. But like and I guess I'll say Roy Jones because I was in there with him, and and
Yeah,
and I knew all the other guys I was fighting. I know my experience fighting him, and I'm just saying that's why I say who's your best fighter of our era. And
yeah,
I would still stick with Roy Jones. James Tony was great. Come on, man, that man. Well, Roy did it too. Went all the way up to heavyweight and won the heavyweight world title. So yeah,
I,
You
I,
fought.
I, I always thought, I always see, and I could be wrong because the difference between Roy and James Tony is almost to me like a Vince Carter versus Kobe. Like James had all the gifts, man, but he just wanted to eat. He ate himself out of divisions. He, you
Well,
know,
I
he
agree
he
with you.
he forced himself to move up because he couldn't stop eating. And people
But
don't
but
look
but
at eating the same way as drugs, but I think, you know, he really had a serious problem with eating, man. He's addressed it over the years that's been one of his biggest things. You heard him in the ring, Burger King, Burger King.
And
Hey,
you
let
know
me
what? He still got it. And he still got it done though, even with that problem he had. So just
Yeah.
imagine if he would have had the mindset of a Roy Jones or other great fighters in that era. Yeah, that man went all the way up to heavyweight and beat one of the greatest heavyweight fighters of all time, whose name would be mentioned whenever you bring up heavyweights, cruiserweights, uh, Evander Holyfield. That
For
yeah,
sure.
you're right. That's amazing, bro. When you think in retrospect, and man, just think about the history that Roy Dunn, James Tony, and Oscar De La Hoya. A lot of those fights. I was just with Oscar De La Hoya a couple of weeks ago at the Hall of Fame.
Oh
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
Let me say this.
yeah.
Let me say this right here, BBO and Mr. Reggie. I definitely think that Roy Jones is leaps and bounds. No disrespect to James Tony, but in that time, I just feel like Roy Jones was in a different. He was just on a different level from anybody. And you fought James Tony and you fought Roy Jones Jr., so you know better than either one of us. You've been in the ring with both of them, so I
Right.
got to gauge. I definitely got to gauge it off your opinion, and not just opinion. I won't say a fact as far as being in the ring with them. You definitely can judge their talent and say, man, if you tell me Roy Jones in your mind is better, I got to go with it because you've been in the ring and you got an opportunity. You know the difference between both fighters. What I'm saying,
Well. I know because I fought both of them, and like till this day, I still tell people whenever I'm uh, somewhere with James Tony, we go back and forth, and Tony, oh man, you kept running, oh, you running, Reggie, you ran the whole fight. I was like, God damn, Tony, you right. That's what I was doing when I dropped you. My ass was running. Everybody started. Everybody started. Everybody started laughing, but we put on a show for the people, man. And hey, man, James Tony was a great fighter, but hey, man, I still know in my heart that that was a fight I won. But that's when I really learned the politics of boxing. And think about it, that was my first world title fight. As a matter of fact, Michael Nunn was supposed to have been fighting me, and they got a political buy to fight Tony. And don't you know that James Tony fought me 6 weeks after he knocked out Michael Nunn?
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah. So that's boxing is. Hey, let me tell y'all something. If you go watch that fight, you ain't got to watch the whole fight because this how it happened. I think right after the during the second round. Yeah, it would happen in the second round when I dropped James Tony. Look at that judge, Patricia Jarman. I'll never forget her name. She was pissed. She hit that. She hit the table with both her hands and was looking at me crazy. Go look at the fight and watch that. And that
Yeah.
lady had me 2 points. She had James Tony winning the fight. One judge had it a draw. One judge had me winning, but she the one had him winning the fight too. And that the politics and politics of boxing. Whenever you fighting in that ring, you gotta
You
it's
did
a
a good job of taking his space away, and I think with James,
Mhm.
he had never had nobody take his space away because when he coming off that Philly shell, he hitting like bricks, and you did a good job of your distance of making sure, hey, you're not gonna throw that right hand, bro. You gonna throw it when I tell you. And I think that was the first time James Tony ever had somebody tell him how he
Yep.
want to fight. And I
no
think
no
you did a good job of following that. You did a good job of following that shoulder and not going for that open, face like people do. And when you the way you control this right hand, man, I definitely I thought I had it as a draw because I thought James kind of was trying to give it hell towards the end, but you did a great job in that fight, man. You really made him. You made his ass fight, and people
let
don't.
Yeah.
me no I made him fight on my terms. I
For
fought
sure.
yeah. Okay, let me ask you something. Have you guys ever heard of Curtis Coates?
Yes.
Curtis. Yeah. Oh
Curtis
yes.
Coates. When I turned pro at age 17, the people I signed with, they hired him to train me. as an old school former welterweight world champion. So
Mhm.
I've always I've worked with the great trainers, Jesse Reed, and then the late Julio Gonzalez. My last fight. Have you ever heard of Robles, Manny Robles? He the one trained the heavyweight guy to become the first Mexican heavyweight champion. But that his dad was my chief trainer when I moved to California. He passed away, Chato. So I've had great trainers, man. And let me tell you something. When I was 17, those people hired Curtis Coach. The first day he came here and trained me, he put me in the ring. I shadow boxed 3 rounds. With that third round, the fourth round, he got in there, had me start shadow boxing, and then he came and stopped me and showed. He said, Reggie, you see those legs you use to position yourself to hit a man with? He said, they're the same goddamn legs you use to get the hell out the way. He said, a lot of people think he said, a lot of people think that your whole boxing match is about your hands. It all starts with your legs.
Mm.
And if you go back and just watch my fights, I won fights and I fought with my legs. My hands didn't come before my legs. It's how you position yourself.
Definitely, man. Hey, let me ask you this because I know this. Me and BVO both want to know. You've been in the ring with some guys that could really punch. You know, they say it's a difference. And sometimes they say like one fighter might have a thud, and you know how they say that between Roy and James, as far as coming with punching power, you already told me that Roy Jones' speed made his power. Could you like? Was there a big difference in their power? Could you tell the difference, or which one you think hit harder?
Well, like I think I told you that, which is true. Speed generates power, but this is when everybody whenever I'm doing podcasts or interviews, they always ask me, and I really don't have an answer for that because James Tony, of course, he hit me, but those was punches that I caught, so he didn't hurt me.
Right.
So I mean, shit. Roy Jones dropped me twice. The first one was more of like a slip, but it was a real knockdown. But that second 1-2 punch he hit with me, man. I mean, I didn't even see it. The man is
Mm.
so fast. The next thing I know, I'm on the ground getting up.
Right.
So it's kind of hard for me to say who hit the hardest because I'm telling you, man, James Tony didn't. You know, I mean, he threw punches that I caught to touch me, but he never hit me on the chin or wobbled me or anything like that.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
But other fights, something that I didn't experience. I've seen Tony what he set guys up and hit them and knock them out. So it's kind of I mean if you say who hit the hardest, uh, shit, of course I'm gonna say yeah, shit, the goddamn Negro who knocked me down hit the hardest.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. Man,
Yes, yes, he did. Yeah.
You know, and,
man.
and when you spoke about how you control James Tony, I mean, people don't understand what you did. Kind of set the blueprint on how to beat James,
Mm,
because I noticed that people knew, hey, if I get in James' space, he don't like people in his space. You get in
mm,
his space, he don't like that, and you what? And you kind of showed the world, lay on that right hand, and it just neutralized that shoulder roll. And I tell you what, you probably didn't think about it because unfortunately, you got robbed, but you really
yeah.
put the blueprint on how to beat James. And I think if you ever look at James losing fights, they did exactly what you did. They laid on that right hand and they didn't let James open up like he usually do by crowding his space because everybody else, especially at middleweight, gave him way too much space. And he kicked their ass every
Hey,
time.
you just said that Tony didn't like you in his space. Tony loved you fighting his fight or being in his space because hey man, hey, Tony was a bad man, bro. You try to fight that dude inside, man. Bro. I mean, that's just like somebody trying to outbox Sugar Ray Leonard or Sugar Ray Robinson. That's like somebody trying to outslug Mike Tyson. Why would I fight on his terms, what he's,
What he's, Hello.
I don't know what
that
that
sound,
was.
that sound
That
like
was
your
my
wife
phone. I
was.
apologize.
That sound like your wife was trying to call you, brother. What's up with that,
No,
man?
no, she just went out the door. That was somebody else. I don't know who it was. I clicked them off. I clicked them off, man. They can call back.
Hey, so Sweet, do you still keep up with boxing now? Do you watch like the great Canelo or Ryan Garcia? You know, any of our great fighters now? You watch any of those guys?
Man, that was the time, man, that with my love, my whole life being boxing. I told you, I started at 12. I don't care if they had two midgets. If Bushwick Bill was fighting somebody, I was gonna watch it. But you're right. In this day and time, man, if it's not a fight, a noted name, or something that get my attention, you know, I don't. I, hey man, I used to shut down. I don't care who was fighting. I shut down. It's boxing. I'm gonna watch it. But you know, I don't. Yeah, I'm not that guy no more. I watch fights that has my undivided attention. That, hey man, oh, these are two great guys. I'm gonna sit here and watch this fight.
Yeah, because
Yeah,
we watch me and BVO. We watch every fight. We don't miss a fight.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
we
But
watching
I
it,
ask you
man.
this, I ask you this real quick, champ. Now this is CDK will probably agree with me. Canelo Alvarez is probably number one pound for pound fighter in the world. How would
No,
you
I
beat?
won't. No, I won't agree with
How would you beat him, champ? How would you beat Canelo?
Oh, I will be smart and then probably fight him like I fought James Tony.
you.
Yeah, yeah. I will fight on my terms, man. I mean, okay, if a guy I feel that's stronger than me or more of a slugger than I am, I'm out boxing. And when that guy get in the thing, I'm gonna grab him, hug him. Shit, I might even give him a kiss and let the referee come break us up and go back to fighting what's in my best interest. Like we beat him with them legs, man. Beat him with the
Definitely.
legs. Yeah.
That's how you beat Canelo, and that's how Bivol was able to beat him or whatever using his legs, man. And it played a key factor in that fight. And though I am a fan of Canelo Alvarez, the thing that I only have problem I have, man, is Canelo has given us great fights, but over the years he's also like they got a guy getting ready to fight now, William Skull, and I don't like calling people taxi cab drivers, limo drivers, or whatever. But this guy has no business being the IBF ranked number one. It just ain't no doubt about it. I'm looking at the guy's record the other day. I posted his record. The guy's been fighting people with 23 and 22 losses, and they're saying this is who y'all want to fight. But Canelo had David Benavidez, who's been waiting 3 years. He had David Morrell, who's been waiting 2 years, and they know this is what the fans want to see. And this is what I go back on when I'm talking about the sport of boxing. I can't make you number one when you're not giving the fans the fights they want. It don't matter to me whether you win those fights or not. I just feel like, man, that these are the fights the fans want to see. The best fight, the best, and Canelo don't want to give us that no more. Maybe he's earned the right to do that. Some people feel that way. I just ain't one of them people to feel like that.
Well. Canelo, I don't think he mind fighting the best, but I just heard him the other day saying he wanted $1 billion.
Right, right.
No, he said that, man, for real.
He
He said,
told for he
you
want a
want me to
billion
fight
dollars.
wait, what's the tall Mexican guy name? You want me to fight
Benavidez,
him?
The
Huh?
monster,
Benavidez.
the monster.
Yeah, Benavidez. This man want $1 billion, bro. Hey, and you know what? And I'm like, man, this guy's crazy. But then I put a little thought into that. If them, hey man, if them guys having fights generating billions of dollars, and the two guys in there with their life and health on the line, yeah, they should. Man, we as fighters, we should have more money, man.
Definitely. I definitely agree with that. I just want to see. I think the fight can be made, and I think it's a fight that should be made. And I just want to see it. Whether he wins or loses, I want to see it. I think it's a 50-50 fight. I think the Canelo, the experience factor, could play a big part in that fight. But I think that David Benavidez brings something to the table that he's never dealt with before. So, well, we'll have to see.
I ain't gonna lie to you, man. If Canelo fight Benavidez, I want to see that fight too. And I'm telling you, man, That's a good fight. That's a fight that boxing need right now. But if you twist my arm and make me pick one, I'm going with Benavidez, bro.
Me too. Me too.
Yeah,
You know the thing I think, and salute to you, champ. I think he do something people forgot about. Canelo do a lot of that Rocky Marciano stuff where he punch your arms up, he hurt them
yeah.
arms, he wants you to drop them hands so he can really beat the hell out of you. And if you watch the Mexican Monster, he's easily hit, and you know from you fighting guys like like a guy like David Benavidez, you would beat him to death because he get hit too much. You know what
Yeah,
I mean?
yeah.
So I'm
But
thinking, if I know you will knock him out, champ, just imagine what Canelo's gonna do. And then when he knock him out, they're gonna say, "Oh, Canelo, fight this guy." It's like it's a never-ending thing. He can never
but
win.
hey, Rich, you see what he just done though? He just put Canelo ahead of you. He
No,
love Canelo. But listen, this my guy
no,
though. This what me and BBO do. But to say this right here, I think what people are missing with that fight is this. Canelo is a guy that tires out easily. He doesn't have a big gas tank anymore. He never had a big gas tank. And the thing with David Benavidez is he's going to apply pressure. He's not going to let Canelo off the hook. He's going to come forward. He's going to put a lot of pressure on him. He has a chin. And I just don't see I don't see Canelo being able to withstand that type of man. I'm talking about is that punishment coming. Canelo get hit easy. He got hit against Hammer McGill. So when you got somebody that's that size, you know what I'm saying? Because we know David Benavidez is gonna be the bigger man, pause on fight night. I just think it's gonna be too much for Canelo. I can't see him winning. You know, it's hard, and I hate to say that because of who Canelo is. I can't see him beating David. I've went through my mind 1,000 times. I don't see a victory for him.
Okay, well, I'm gonna say this here, man. Benavidez and Canelo. Think about the fighters who fought in the era that I came up, but I can only speak for myself. Either one of those guys, I tie one hand behind my back and whoop the shit out of them. They're not smart enough. Hey, no, I'm serious. They're not. Hey, they're not smart enough to beat me, bro.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? Hey, listen. The greatest fighter of our era when I was fighting was Roy Jones. How many times Roy Jones been knocked out? I was 96-12 as an amateur. Had 52 pro fights. Never been beat up. Never been knocked out. I had great trainers, bro. And once again, I keep saying this here. Hey, my fight didn't start with my hands. It started with my legs. Them guys not smart enough to beat me, man.
mm. You heard it, BVO.
I could see that. Yeah, I could see that. I could see that.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
just only reason when you talk about Canelo, it's like I know with my brother CDK, if Canelo had waves in the beard, that would be his guy.
He
I
might be.
understand he don't like.
He might
No,
be.
no, no,
He
no,
might.
no, no, no. I didn't say I didn't like Canelo. I love
Yeah, I
Canelo.
like.
He's
No,
great.
no, not you. I'm talking about CDK. I know you.
Oh,
I know
okay.
you.
No,
I'm not saying you don't like. I'm
oh,
messing with CDK.
Yeah.
CDK. He don't like Canelo.
No, I like
No, he
Canelo,
don't
but
like Canelo.
he called
No, he
me
don't. Go listen
BBO
to it,
called.
champ.
Let me tell the truth. I'm the most unbiased guy on YouTube, but BBO calls me a Wakandaman. That he says I only like black fighters. I just got this thing that I love black fighters. I feel like Canelo has a whole country behind him, and I feel like there ain't nothing wrong with cheering for your own. Because one thing for sure, Canelo people gonna get behind him, but David Benavidez is Mexican or what is he? Something, you know. I just feel like he's a
Honduran.
better. Yeah, I feel like he's a better fighter of the two. I think Canelo, when Canelo fought Jamel Charlo, I picked Canelo to win. If Canelo fights Terrence Bud Crawford, I got Canelo winning. I just don't think Terrence Crawford can come up 3 weight classes and beat Canelo. I don't believe that.
Now
I think
you just mentioned Charlo when he. Hey man, I ain't gonna lie to you, man. I was so damn pissed. Charlo was scared as hell. Why that man fight Canelo? He didn't even try to fight.
so, man.
He was
You
like,
say
he was just
Hey,
there to get
sweet, he
the
didn't know he
money.
was punching. Hey, sweet, he ain't know Canelo was punching that hard. That's my favorite fighter, Jamel Charlo. I don't think he
yeah,
realized Canelo punching, man.
Oh,
yeah.
Canelo, hey, Canelo could punch, but just because a man can punch, if he would have went out there and tried, but still, man, even if he would have got knocked out, he didn't even try to fight. That dude fought like he scared the whole fight. That's crazy, man. Hey, don't you know that their daddy used to be in the gym with me? I remember when
He
their
told
daddy
me.
was boxing. I know them when they little bitty kids to Canelo boys. They from Houston.
Oh yeah,
Charlie
Charlotte
Brown.
Cross. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Their dad used to be in the gym with me.
You
Yeah.
know, Jamel Charlo, in my opinion, he's my favorite fighter because he's like an old '90s fighter, man. He get his ass kicked, he cry about it, then he come back, do his thing. I just, I just think with Jamel, I hate to say this, but I think that was the first time in his life that he came into a fight trying to survive, and it showed.
Hey,
Yeah.
He came to survive.
which one of them guys the crazy one right now?
That's Jamal. Jamal's the one that's crazy.
Okay, well check this out.
They running neck and neck.
I was at a fight one time, and I walked by him, and I spoke to him, and the dude was, he was tripping. It was just some amateur fights. So the next day when I came back by, no, it was a 2 day ago. Went back on a Sunday, the last day of this amateur tournament, and I walked by him again, and he gonna say, "Oh, champ, you just gonna walk by me?" And I'm like, I kept walking. I'm saying to myself, "This crazy dude, what the fuck is wrong with these young boys, man?" I kept walking, but guess what, man? Some say, Reggie, go back and talk to that young man, cause I know his dad. So I
Yeah,
turned around, went back and said to her, I said, listen, bro, don't you know me and your dad came up together? I mean, bro, what? I mean, what, bro, man? The way you acting, this is the crazy one too. I said,
yeah,
man, the way you acting, bro, you represent Houston, man. I remember you and your brother when y'all little boys, when your dad, man, we was in the gym together, man. I say, bro, man, y'all in a position to make the world a better place, especially make the world better for men of color. I mean, yeah, but why y'all do that? Why y'all? But I heard them guys. Well, I don't know if both of them, but them guys be, doing
oh yeah,
cocaine.
they be talking crazy. Yeah, they be talking
No,
crazy.
I'm talking about they doing that dope though, the cocaine and all that stuff. I
Oh,
mean, it's crazy, bro. It's crazy,
mm,
man.
You
man,
know,
breaking.
I'll say this, man. This is how I look at drugs, and I'm gonna be totally honest. For playing professional football, you can use drugs, but just like anything else, you gotta do it in moderation. You gotta do it in moderation. I had a good friend. I ain't gonna say his name, but he was a 3-time Pro Bowler. Um, was real close to making the All Decade team in the 2010s, and I know for a fact he used cocaine every day. I don't
Mm.
necessarily get on people who use drugs. I think it's like anything else, whether because food can be a drug. I keep saying that. Anything could be a drug. I think what you got to do, whatever you do, man, as my grandfather would say, you can't let your slip be hanging. When your slip is hanging, that's when you're in trouble.
Now
Well, I'm gonna say,
you
yeah.
just said that food can be a drug. What
Yeah.
what what? I mean, from being especially a boxer, what you think is the worst drug for a person to use as a boxer?
Outside of PEDs,
Oh,
uh,
food.
mm,
I'm trying to see if y'all gonna get this right.
I don't know.
I
I
think you
would
would
say
say,
maybe
I
cocaine.
believe you would say cocaine.
Okay, okay, brother. What you think? It's not that. Well, what you think, brother?
I would say your ego would be your worst drug.
No, the worst drug for a fighter is that Pinocha.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, that'll get you in trouble too.
Oh man,
Hey,
hey, it will though. It definitely
hey,
will,
hey,
man.
hey, man, I be telling them guys, I say, hey, man, hey, bro, when you getting ready for a fight, that's why I always went to training camps, went up to the mountains, got away from home, got away from the kids, got away from well, I'm not married now, but got away from the wife, the women. Hey, man, oh, no. Hey, I always get people with this, and it makes sense to them. You remember the good Rocky movies, but you remember when Mr. T was beating the hell out of Rocky, right?
Yeah,
Hmm.
And his wife was out there talking about stop the fight, stop the fight. And
yeah,
the comedian said this. The comedian was doing this. He said, well, you should have stopped giving him that pussy.
Yeah.
man.
Hey,
Hey,
that's a true thing, man.
Hey,
yeah,
that was funny as hell. That comedian was up there doing that, talking about stop the fight, stop the fight. Wait a minute, you should have stopped giving it. That was funny as hell.
people don't
But
people don't realize this, but Robin Givens changed Mike Tyson's boxing career. It wasn't that
yeah,
he lost to Douglas. It was the fact that that little bitty woman beat his ass senseless. And I
Man,
don't know if you ever seen that interview with Barbara Walters, and she had Mike looking like a damn mental patient.
I
Oh
seen it.
yeah,
I
I've seen
seen
that.
it.
I've seen that. Yeah, Mike. Hey man, hey, I ain't gonna lie to you.
Yeah.
Boy, that go to show you how powerful that monkey is, man. Because Tyson was just sitting there. He's like froze, and you know Tyson go off on people, bro. Why she had him, man. She had Tyson.
Man, she had him. She
And
had
when
him.
he
Hey,
was
I'm
in the
talking
hey,
about,
video
hey.
about how
man.
angry he was, I don't know if you seen the documentary where he just talk about how he just wanted to just do a whole bunch of horrible things to her. He was
Man,
like, "Yeah, that sound good, but when you was in the moment,
hey, I'm gonna say this right here. Mike Tyson had symphitis at that
oh for
moment.
sure,
Yeah,
he
yeah, he had
still got, he
symphitis.
still got. He just happened to meet a good woman in Kiki Tyson. Salute to her, man.
Yeah,
You
salute
know,
to her. You know what I'm saying? He met a good
he from
woman,
East
and
New York.
but
Yeah,
I want to
You
say this
talking about his
about
wife
drugs.
now, right?
Yeah, his wife now. I want to say
Okay.
this about drugs. The thing about drugs, man, I just celebrated 2 years clean 4 months ago. I think that, cocaine and drugs like that, they're hard to use. Like I went through emotion, man. I'm talking about like it went from my mom and my family, really being behind me. I probably would still be messed. I probably wouldn't be here right now. I probably would OD. Because I actually did OD like 5 different times, man. But by the grace of God, he didn't take my life. He allowed me to be here. And my old lady saying she was gonna leave me and take my son from me, and I wasn't gonna see him no more. It took a whole lot for me to just say, man, because you you can't do it for nobody else. When you're getting clean, you got to do it for yourself. So I always say, man, I don't know if a person can use drugs in moderation. I can't do it. You know what I'm saying? Maybe it's people that can do it, but I wasn't one of those people that could do it. And it almost destroyed my life and everything in my life. So, man, I'm just happy to be clean, man. I think, man, I don't know what the Charlo's going through, but they need to get some help.
Brother, what you just said, I can relate to that. Like I told you, I never had a beer in my life, but you know, I think my mother, my late mother, she used to take like the pills, but my dad was out there bad on all that stuff. And this is the amazing thing, man, because I remember as a kid, I grew up fast. My dad was locked up, with the drug. He did a lot of stuff, but my dad got clean. Man, don't you know he started working with those people? He was driving the van. He was going to get
Yeah,
them same people who used to be him and bringing them to trying to get them clean, right?
right,
And just I can only think about my dad, my late father, when you just what you went through, and then it's like I went through that too because I used to go to the all the meetings and all the stuff with my dad, the drug places,
right,
and I went there to talk to him and all that stuff. Man, it's boy, that was I had that in my family, other people too, man. But it's wow, man, it's that thing with my dad, bro. But think about it, man. All them years that my dad was in prison for a while, and
right.
man, to watch him become a totally different man. And I mean, I used to go with him when he in the van where he had those drug people in the van and stuff with him. And I'm like, wow, man. It's like my dad used to be in that van. Now
Man,
he
me
driving that
too.
van with them people in there.
Hey, and man, salute to your dad for that, man, because it's crazy you say that because I'm in the same situation. I go to the rehab now that I went through. I go over there and I speak and stuff. They call me over there all the time, and I try to help people out over there and just give them some guidance and let them know that there's hope. And a lot of people need that, man, because I tell people, man, they don't understand. Man, drugs is really a disease. You know what I'm saying? Addiction is a disease, and a lot of people don't look at it like that, but it really is, man. And it's something hard. It's one of the hard. It was one of the hardest things in my life to overcome because just like you saying with your mom, I started with the pills, and I started taking like 30 Percocets a day, 20, 25 Roxy a day. It got that bad, to man. I'm talking about I was taking so many pills that it was outrageous. I was 100 and I got down to 130 pounds. I'm 215 pounds now, man. I was like a different. Yeah, I was. It was that bad.
Well, brother, I want to collaborate with you, and because I haven't done it in a while, I want to start going back. Talking to those people. Hey, man,
Right,
I used to go to all the different places, talk to the people, go there, and
man.
just go check on them, walk through the. Well, yeah, man. I used to even go to the jails and stuff, man, talking to those guys.
Definitely, man. We definitely got to do something because, like I said, I stay at the rehab over there, going over there, and the people over there they love me because one thing they told me was I didn't leave my city, and they told me and my mom because I didn't want to leave the city because
Wait a
of my
minute, where you
son.
located? Where you located?
I'm in Tennessee, and
Tennessee. Oh yeah, I got
yeah,
some
and
history there too. Yeah.
they told me that nobody, they usually a person goes through the program like where you're from, they don't make it, and they kept saying there's no way he's gonna make it because everybody knows me, and everywhere we would go in that van to get out, somebody was calling my name, give me dap or hug, and they said, man, they couldn't believe that I made it through the program and I'm doing good as I am. They was like, man, you really are a walking testimony.
Oh yeah, man. Yeah, man. And they got that old saying: you live and you learn. And then you live, you learn, and then you feel dedicated. Hey man, I was blessed by the best. I gotta share this. I gotta give back. Yeah, hey man, you did. Hey man, I salute you and just support you, bro. Like I said, if are you in Tennessee now?
Yes, I'm in Tennessee now.
So I used to be in Jasper, Tennessee all the time. How far are you from Jasper?
I think Jasper's near Nashville, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Not that far from Nashville, but that's where one of my managers, Bob Jordan, he used to live there. Yeah, and he had like Gregory, not Gregory, Griffin that fought 106. He fought at the two Olympics. He had him, but I'm the one that turned him on to Bob Jordan. That's his name. He was the man. He had Mike Williams, who played in the Rocky movie. He had a whole bunch of noted fighters coming to Houston that he, was working with and signed. Yeah, Bob Jordan.
Okay. I
Yeah,
think I
he's
might
like
be like an
83 now.
hour. I might be an hour. I think Jasper's on the other side. I'm on the other side. I'm 30 minutes from Nashville.
Oh yeah, you ain't okay. Yes, it's all within close, within range. Yeah.
Very close. Very close.
Well,
I'm
let me
not that
ask you this.
far.
I know you talk about Houston a lot, but how big a how big a footprint was it to come behind, to me, one of the greatest men to ever live in the square circle, George Foreman? Because when you think of Houston, you think of George Foreman right away. What was that like growing up? I don't want to say almost like some would say like almost like a godfather type figure. What was it like being in the same city as George Foreman?
Well, being in the same city of George Foreman, George is not from Houston. He's from Marshall, Texas. And George came here, I think, when he was like in his early teens, 13, 12, 13, or something like that. But him and my dad grew up together. He lived in Fifth Ward also. So
Mhm.
so my dad and him grew up together, and yeah, man, I nothing but love and respect for George, and I always educate the people and let them know, because I'm the first guy from Houston born and reared to win a world title. A lot of people think it's George Foreman, but George is not from Houston. But George Foreman, man, he came here and man, he wow started boxing, cleaned up, man. Great guy. It's been a while, but I've been to his church before and did some events with him before, and
Oh,
we
he was
did some
actually preaching
autograph
for
plates.
real.
Excuse me.
He was actually preaching for real. I didn't know that.
No, George is a pre. He got his own church. He been having that church for years.
I
Hmm.
didn't know that. Wow.
I ain't neither.
You
I ain't
never you
neither.
never knew George. Hey man, George, when he first got into the church thing, he used to be at different corners, all on the streets and all, everywhere, man. And then he got his own church and everything. Now he been having that for years, man. As a matter of fact, when I won the world title in '92, I remember the media wanted to do uh, the news, and they wanted to do it at George Foreman, and we went there. We was in George Foreman's gym, and they interviewed me, and me and George standing there talking. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, see, I didn't know that because the way I always heard, and you just told me news about him. I thought he was from Houston because he always said he was from Houston. This is my home. This is why I'm gonna, as he would say, live and die. So I
Mm.
always thought Big George was from Houston. I didn't know he was from somewhere
No,
else.
no, no, no. George is from Marshall, Texas originally, but I think, like I said, he 12, 13, I think 14 to something like that. He came, yeah, they moved from Marshall, Texas to Houston, and Marshall is like past Shepherd, Texas, where my grandmother and my mother and them was from. It's like, so it's probably like about 3.5 hours from here, from
Yeah, that's
Houston.
out in the sticks. Yeah, that's out in the sticks.
Yeah,
And so,
yeah,
so
yeah,
you
yeah.
grew up. You can Did you also grow up in Fifth Ward?
Oh yeah, I'm in Fifth Ward. I didn't. Yeah, I remember as a kid we used to go to the country like Shepherd, where like where my grandmother and them was from, And I remember, man, I used to go there, and my uncle and them, they be doing the hunting and doing that. Whenever that got dark, boy, I went in the house.
And
Yeah, they got
that's
some
how.
coyotes
So
and all that stuff out there, man.
that's how you became good friends with Willie D. That's how y'all became really good friends. You and Willie D. Growing up as kids.
Yeah, we both from Fifth Ward. As a matter of fact, his uncle and my dad grew up together. You know, Willie D. Uncle was a great fighter. He fought Wilfred Benitez. He fought Vito Amafermo. Guess who Willie D. Uncle knocked out in a pro fight?
Who?
Roy Jones' daddy.
Oh,
Oh,
Big
you
Roy.
told me that on the
Yeah.
phone. Yeah, you told me that. You told me that. How,
Hey,
man?
you
Because we were talking about. Go ahead, BBO.
oh, my bad, my bad. No, only thing I was gonna say is I know you were talking about Roy. I think Roy would have been 10 times better if he would have had Big Roy train him, but they could never get along. I don't know what that was about, but
Wait a minute. If he would have had who train him?
his dad, if he would have had his dad, Big Roy, Roy Senior.
No, Roy was. That's who was training him. He left his dad.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. He left him really, really early. I'm just saying I wish they could have stayed together because
No,
it was tough.
I don't think he left his dad early because his dad, as a kid growing up boxing, his dad trained him, and as a pro, when he was world champion, his dad was training him, and let me tell you something, man.
Hmm.
That father son deal would just I can only talk from a boxing perspective, but really it's with anything. This is the thing because I was there in Pensacola with them. I fought there at Roy. That's when they got into it. And Roy didn't even fight on the pro card. He's supposed to fight in Pensacola, where he's from. But what you got to understand, Roy became a man. This dude is the world champion,
Yeah,
and this is what happened. Not only the Roy situation, but most situation. Wait a minute, man. I know you, you, you my dad, and I used to be your son, but I'll forever be your son, but I'm a man now.
yeah. I think Big Roy had a hard time understanding that his son was a grown man because when I heard about that story about him, unfortunately, killing his dog, because I'm a big animal lover, especially a dog lover.
Yeah. I
And
forgot
he
all
told
about
his
the
own
dog.
dad, next
Yeah,
time he kills something, be ready to die with it. I said, oh, they on
Yeah.
yeah,
another
Yeah.
yeah,
level with
yeah,
it. They on another level with it.
yeah, yeah,
Man.
yeah, yeah. Hey, man. But I'm glad they cleaned that up and he started back, working with Roy in some of his fights. But it's just, yeah, that was a. But the thing, think about it. But most fathers like that. You get in there talking to your son, crazy. Wait a minute, man, your son. I know that's your son, but that son is hey man, that's your business partner. Yeah, that's a fucking grown man, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You see, that's a
Yeah.
you dealing with a man now, bro. You ain't dealing with no little kid, no little boy.
Right.
It,
Right. And
it's
man, they.
hard. It's hard not to see him as kids. I was laughing one time with my grandma got arrested. So, and I had just had my daughter, and I said, I wonder how I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna have to do that. And my grandma said the thing I never forget. You're gonna know as you get older, and you're gonna know there's gonna be a time that she's gonna be grown. You got to stay at her business. And and she
Yep.
told me that when my daughter 1 years old. There's gonna come a time she gonna be grown, and you gonna have to stay out of her business. And she said it just like that. And that touched me, man, because like you said it best, man. You got to know when to let these kids be grown. You can't.
Well,
You.
well,
Yeah.
well, well, well. Let me tell you
Look,
something about
look.
letting them kids being grown,
Hmm.
and this is something that they got to realize. Like I can only speak for myself. I got three boys, and I've always told my boys, especially when they become 20, 21. All my sons is grown. I'm like, listen, man, y'all go out there doing some dope or doing anything that's illegal and you go to jail, I'm not bringing my ass down there. Nah, nah, nah. If you go to jail, and it's because I know it's a lot of, man, shit, we can't even count how many people that's in jail that shouldn't be in there. But
Right.
if you doing something and you in jail, like protecting yourself, don't, yeah, your dad gonna always be there. But that's the same thing with the kids. And when they grown, bro. I mean, they man up. But you do something stupid, rob a bank or rape somebody or goddamn rob somebody, man. I'm not bringing my ass down there.
Right. Right. Man. I agree with you.
I'm not going down there, bro. And I'm your dad. I'll forever love you. I'm loving your ass from a distance, boy. Because I did not teach your motherfucking ass that shit, and you don't have to. And you don't have to do that, bro. But I must say this here, man. I got three boys, and man, and I've been blessed by the best, man. But sometimes them fathers get soft with them boys. Hey, man, really not on the kids. Period. The fucking kids running the parents now. They
Yeah,
dictate the parents. That's crazy.
Oh
yeah.
yeah. It ain't
Hey,
like
That's crazy.
when I
you
was
know,
growing up.
I gotta say this though, man. Sweet, you a good brother, man, and
Yeah.
everything you did in that ring, man. It might not mean a lot, but to me, man, I really admire you for what you did in the ring. You never cheated us, man, and you kicked a whole lot of ass, man. So I just want you to know, man, we love you, man, and thank you so much for coming on with us, man.
Hey, man, I
Yeah.
appreciate you guys, man, sharing your platform with me and like what we just talking about. Those kids. Yeah, man. same, same thing with them, man. They, if they, when that bell rang, it ain't got to be a bell ring with them kids. They do something crazy, I'm gonna whoop their ass, man. I'm gonna make, I'm gonna make even now. I'll be joking with my kids. Now I'll make a comeback and whoop y'all ass. I say, and I got a right to whoop your ass too, cause y'all, especially them boys, y'all got that Johnson last name. Y'all represent me.
Yeah,
That's
Yeah,
right. Man, you
that's what he's
exactly
gonna
right
come
about
out
that,
and
boy.
tell them some more ass.
yeah, yeah,
Man,
man. But I was blessed
hey,
by the best, man. My kids, man, everybody, they all doing good. All my kids grown, and and I got to keep it real with y'all. I got 14 kids, man.
yeah. I got
That's
10.
a blessing, man.
Oh, that's all you got is 10? I got
Yeah.
14.
Man, you got
But
me. My dad got 17.
check. Oh, goddamn. Hey, your dad must be a boxer too. He stick and move too, don't he?
Yeah, he's thinking. Man,
Hey,
he was a Rolling Stone. He was good. He was good at moving. His feet good.
I tell y'all one
Hey,
thing.
man. Let me correct y'all, man. I'm just joking. I always set people up with that. I got half and I got 7 kids, but I always tell them 14. You ought to see the way people look at me. They be like, "Oh man, goddamn, man." They be looking at me up and down, and I always tell them, I say, "I just set you up to just tell you that joke, man." But I ain't got no 14 kids.
Oh, okay. I was
Yeah,
gonna say,
hey,
Hey,
man,
look, all I was gonna say is I was gonna say you doing a lot of fucking, champ.
yeah.
they
Well,
make. Hey,
I didn't want to use that big word, fucking. That's why I say stick and move.
hey, let me ask you. Now the BBO said that. Let me ask you this right here, champ. Let me ask you this. In your time in the boxing ring, we know the women, they chase the basketball players and football players. They outside the hotel room. Did you ever experience a lot of that?
Man, of course, man. Basketball, football, and shit. All they got to do is see you on TV on HBO. They know you making some money. You know, they go,
And they coming.
they gonna try to reach out to you. But I always had a grip on that, man. And boxing came first. One of the things I learned, and I'm a man, I'm a real man, and back in the day, I had my fun with beautiful women and had wives, and but the thing is, man, my whole thing was when it's time, boxing came first. I did training camps. I was one of the first guys that did all the big training camps in Big Bear, California. Even even like down here, like in Shepherd. I remember I went down there by Cleveland and set up a camp there, and then I left here and went to California. And went up to Big Bear, California. Yeah. So my thing, boxing came first, man. But once again, like I think I just told y'all about that Rocky movie when Rocky was getting his butt whooped. Remember his wife was out there talking about stop the fight, stop the fight. And that comedian said, "You should have stopped giving him that monkey."
Man. Got to, man.
Rocky, hey, Mr. T was beating the hell out of Rocky. She talking about stop the fight, stop the fight. And that comedian said, "Yeah, you should have stopped giving him that monkey. You know that man had to
Man,
fight." Yeah.
he got to fight. But listen, man, I truly, man, this has truly been an honor, man. You know, I got your phone number, man. Like I said, just talking to you on the phone and stuff, man. And we really got to know each other, and we're gonna continue to go, get to know each other, and hope we do are able to collab on something as far as with the rehab and stuff. You know what I'm saying? And I was telling BBO, man, you know what I'm saying, because I was talking to you and about, you know what I'm saying, Willie D, and you talking about you gonna see if you can make it happen, and I do hope it can happen. He's a big Get Old Boy fan as well, man. He a fan of man, he loves he'll Get Old Boy fan like me.
But well, I think you and Willie D, y'all and Willie D collaborating with y'all both doing the same thing with the podcast, man. That's I would love to hook you guys up together. Yeah,
Like, yeah,
yeah,
man. And that would be something special right there.
yeah,
Hey, if
and
you're not busy,
that's
sweet, we would love to have you come on and be like a guest panelist one day, man. Because we don't know shit about boxing like you do.
Yeah, for real.
We would love to have you come up, man, and say a few words about a fighter for us, man, so we can know.
I always tell people this, man. My first job was boxing. I worked at Kroger's. I used to box the fruits and vegetables. I tell I tell people that they be looking at me like, man, wait a minute, what you mean boxing? What they got? I say, man, you'll get it, you'll get it, you'll get it. But yeah, man. But like I told you, I grew up fast, bro. I was working. I got twin sisters. My mother, had me when she was young. My dad was locked up. I grew up fast, bro. And then when I found that boxing at 12, and then I made the U.S. team. That's crazy. When I quit Kroger's, I went off on that assistant manager, hit him with about an 8 piece and blood everywhere, and knocked him out. And I'm like, what, 15 years old, and when I got home, boy, man, my mama was like, "Boy, you putting your hand, you ain't supposed to be." But we went and met with the manager and had that, and I went back to work, and then I seen this guy doing what he was doing, and I went found Mr. Callahan, the main manager, and said, "Man, I can't work with this guy. Thank you." Walk. That was a long walk home because I got to tell my mom I got to find another job. But guess
Yeah.
what, bro? When I knocked on that door, my mom opened that door. She started looking. She said, "God damn it, what the hell you done did now?" I said, "No, mom, I had to quit that job because I'm gonna put my hands on that man again." My mom said, "Oh boy, God damn boy, I thought you did put your hand." She said, "I got something for you." My mama went in the room, came out with all the mail. She went through the mail. She get and she gave me my mail, and the mail was open. I said, "Mama, why you?" She said, "God damn it, boy, I'm your mama. Just read the mail. Read the mail."
Hmm.
And I opened that thing up, read it. Guess what that mail said, bro?
What's that?
Reggie, Reginald, Dwayne Johnson, boom, 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 USA boxing team, Sweden, Germany, Denmark, Japan. I got on the USA boxing team.
Oh wow, man.
It was
That
like
was
perfect timing, bro.
that was God
Perfect timing.
intervention.
And I think it was like 3 weeks, a month. I ended up going to Colorado Springs. I was there training for about a month and a half, and then I took off and went to all those places that I just mentioned to you. And when I was on the U.S. team, every time I fought in different countries, I mean, the first one the first one I did Sweden, Germany, Denmark, and Japan, and I fought 2 times on that tour. I won, and then the next one I went to Bangkok, Thailand, and I won that was the World Kings Cup tournament. That's a world amateur tournament. I was the youngest. I don't even know if anybody broke that record, but I was 16. I won that. Won the World Kings Cup tournament, and I remember my first fight. I fought 4 times. My first fight, I fought the guy that was from there, and then my last fight, I beat the guy from Africa and won
Oh,
and won the gold. Yeah, won the tournament.
did you? I mean, from that moment on, did you knew that like boxing is gonna be? I'm gonna make a career out of this.
Oh, I knew that. Then when I like I told you, when I started boxing at 12, I knew that was love for me, man. No more baseball, basketball, soccer. Nothing, and no more cutting up in school either. Because it's either I had to make a choice. You want to box, or you want to be the class clown. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, it changed my whole life.
Definitely, definitely. Before
It
you get
changed.
out of here, Mr. Reggie, because I got to get to my other job, which is work. There's a round. Everybody got a Mount Rushmore of something. Your Mount Rushmore. You take 5 fighters from any era. Your favorite, no, four fighters, because the Mount Rushmore is four. You can take 4 fighters from any era. Who will be your favorite 4 fighters, or who are your favorite 4 fighters of all time?
Oh man, Muhammad Ali is my hero. He would be number one. Number two, I love somebody I found out that I was related to, Jack Johnson.
Hmm.
Uh, number three, Sugar Ray Robinson. Number four, uh, well, we're on four, right? Number four, ooh, Joe Louis,
Joe Louis.
and number five would be did I say Sugar Ray Leonard already?
No, I don't think you say Sugar Ray.
Yeah, Sugar Ray Leonard. I love Sugar Ray Leonard too, man.
Ray
Yeah,
Leonard.
yeah.
Listen, man, it's been truly an honor, and I'm gonna call you later if that's okay with you. I'm gonna
Okay,
get
no
myself,
problem.
I'm saying, I'm getting myself ready for work, man. Thank you, and man, you the first Hall of Famer that I've had the opportunity to talk to, man, and just wanted to give your flowers, man. You deserve to be in the Hall of Fame. The International Boxing Hall of Fame need to make sure, man, that that's next. They need to get you in there because you deserve it.
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, I'm pretty sure I'll make it, and like I always tell people, man. I know eventually I'll make it, but I want to be here. I don't want to be 6 feet deep and make it.
Right, right, man. Yeah, give me my flowers while I'm here. Give me my flowers while I'm here. Let me
There you
enjoy it.
go. Yeah, that's right. That's another thing, brother. Whatever you can call me anytime, whenever you need. Like if you need me to reach out to some fighters for you to get on the show, uh,
Definitely.
yeah, but it's just no problem.
Man, I appreciate that, man. But like I told you, you know what I'm saying? It's hard to get through. The boxing community is small, but getting in that circle, it's hard to get in that circle, man. And that's why I said, man, just meeting you and having the opportunity, man. I feel like it was God, man, coming in and saying, I'm gonna point you in the right direction. And he brought you, he got us together.
Yeah, well, I know it seems hard, but it's not really hard once you know, one, I mean, once you know somebody that's in any business, man. That's why, man. I love helping people. I love communicating with people, man. Like even the people sleeping under the bridges, man. I go sit down there with them a couple of hours or whatever. Go get them something, man. Man, man. I make money. Money don't make me, bro.
That's right,
And,
man. That's
and
real.
yeah, yeah, man. Cause think about it, man. That's just like if I walk by and see a man beating up a woman, like a lot of people be telling me, man, you need to leave. That's their business. The dude gonna end up doing that. They're gonna want to get you. Well, they're going to get me then because man, I would want somebody there for my daughter. If
Definitely,
I'm not
definitely.
there, I would want somebody to go stop that dude from putting his hands on my daughter.
I agree with you
Yeah,
100%.
yeah, 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 yeah. So I'm not, bro. I'm not. Hey, man, it's life could be easy if people really took a toll to it. Treat people the way you want to be treated.
I agree with you. Like I
Yeah.
said, I'll call you later, man. I'm
Okay,
finna cut
brother.
cut us out of here, man. I appreciate you, and we're gonna do this again.
Okay, brother. Keep in touch, man. All right.
I will. Man, I hope
Okay.
everybody enjoyed this interview, man, with the main great Hall of Fame legend, Mr. Reggie Johnson, man. Y'all stay tuned in. More to come. I'm out.
All right, brother. All right.
All right, bro.